Thank you very much, dear devotees. It's honor to be with you this night and to speak about the glories of Lord Chaitanya. So I'll start with just chanting a few times about the glories of Lord Chaitanya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Om Ajnana-timirandasya Ginanjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Kadamba Kanana Swaminiti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I would like to read a verse for you. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Liwa, chapter 1, verse 4. The verse goes as follows. Anarpita charim chirat karunaya vatirna kalau samarpayitum anatojvala rasam swabhakti shriyam hari purata sundara dyuti kadamba sandipita sada hridaya kandare spuratu va sachi nandana. Translation: May the Supreme Lord, who is known as the son of Shrimati Sachi Devi, be transcendentally situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Resplendent with the radiance of modern gold, he has appeared in the age of Kali by his causeless mercy to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. So we know from Bhagavad Gita that Krishna has mainly three reasons to come in this world. He comes to destroy the rascals, and he comes to benefit his devotees and to exchange loving relationships with them. And he also comes to reestablish the principles of religion. Paritranaya sadhuna vinashacha dushkritam dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. And to some extent, the coming of Lord Chaitanya is connected with these reasons. It is explained that Lord Chaitanya, he has external and internal reasons for his appearance, for his manifested pastimes. So, in general, we say that the main reason Lord Chaitanya to come is to spread the Yuga Dharma. In every Yuga, in every millennium, the Lord comes to reestablish the principles of religion. Dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. And for this age, Kali Yuga, the way to make spiritual advancement is to chant the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Lord Chaitanya, he came actually to taste something very, very special. But because he came exactly at the time when the Yuga Dharma had to be spread, he decided to do this also. And he established the congregational movement for chanting the names of God. Now, it is explained that in every Kali Yuga, the process for advancement is Harinam Sankirtan. But normally people, they achieve only moksha or liberation through this process. However, Lord Chaitanya invested something very, very special in these chantings, in this Kali Yuga. Namely, one could get love of God. And this is very special. It's not something common. Not in every Kali Yuga, by chanting the names of God, one will achieve this. One will achieve love of God. So this is something very, very special and very unique. Also, Lord Chaitanya, he didn't came just to give us love of God, but a special love of God. In this verse, it is explained. He came to bestow what no incarnation has ever offered before, the most sublime and radiant mellow of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. So this is something very unique. Most people that believe in God, most people that want to serve God, they have a relationship of a master and a servant. The God is the great master, and I'm his servant, and because of own and reverence and fear, I will serve him. Otherwise, maybe I'll be punished. Maybe my life won't be very good. So let me serve God because I'm his servant. Now, this is one level of spiritual understanding. However, we have much more deeper understandings, and we can find them in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. What is that? One can be a friend of God. One can be a parent of God, and one can be a lover of God. This is very difficult to understand because it means that we are on equal level with God, or even higher level than God. Like the cowboys, they go to Krishna and they say, Krishna, I want to wrestle with you, and be careful because I'm very, very strong and I will win. And then you have to carry me on your shoulders. And it becomes reality. Krishna, he is losing the battle, and he has to take care. He has to fulfill his promise. He has to carry his friend on his shoulders. Or Mother Yashoda, who is the mother of Krishna, she goes to the street and says to Krishna, Krishna, you're a naughty boy. Come home immediately. Sit down to eat. Your father is already waiting for you. And Krishna is listening. Okay, my mother is calling me. I have to go. What a power those devotees have to control the Supreme Personality of Godhead in such a way. Or the gopis in Vrindavan, sometimes they will call Krishna and they will say, Krishna, if you dance now while we are clapping our hands, we'll give you half rasagula, not even a full rasagula. And Krishna is saying, okay. And they start clapping hands and Krishna start dancing. What an amazing relationship. What an amazing devotees. What an amazing purity one should have to be able to control the Supreme Lord in such a way. And this is something that Lord Chaitanya came to give, a higher relationships with God, something that was never seen before, never heard before. He came to give something very, very, very special. It is explained that actually Krishna, in some moments, he wanted to experience the love of his devotees for him. He wanted to experience what is the pleasure that my devotees are feeling when they are serving me. I don't know that. I'm the Supreme Lord. I know everything, but I don't know that. It looks like my devotees, they are getting more happiness than me, but I'm the supreme enjoyer. They are not, they are my servants, but somehow they are getting more happiness from this service than what I'm getting myself as the supreme enjoyer. I want to know this. I want to experience this. So Krishna, he had this desires in his heart. It is explained that one time Krishna was walking in his beautiful palace and he saw his reflection on the floor and he was enjoying his reflection. So Krishna, he developed this desire to see how his devotees are enjoying when they are doing service, when they are seeing his beautiful form. And because of these reasons, these are the internal reasons of the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. Because of that, he appeared as Lord Chaitanya. And although he was the Supreme Lord, Aha Prabhu Sri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahyanya. Although he is non-different from Radha and Krishna, he is in the mood of the devotee. Why? To be able to experience this, the happiness, the bhava, the ecstasy that the devotees are experiencing when they are serving Krishna. And also, Lord Chaitanya, although being Krishna himself, he appeared with a color opposite to blackish, golden. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Akrishnam. This is Krishna, and his nature is as Krishna, but actually his color is Akrishna, opposite to blackish color. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Akrishnam, Sangopangastra Parshadam. And he came directly from the spiritual world, but not alone. He came with all his associates, with all his paraphernalia. He came to perform his amazing pastimes. Sangopangastra Parshadam, Yagyai Sankirtana Prayai. And he started this Sankirtan movement. Yajanti hi sumetasaha. Those personalities who are intelligent, they will worship him. They will worship him. So Krishna really, in the form of Lord Chaitanya, performed amazing pastimes. And he did not show immediately that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, it took quite some time. In the beginning of his pastime, Lord Chaitanya, he would be a naughty boy. He would make many things that would even make angry sometimes the citizens of Navadvip. One of his favorite pastimes was to go on the bank of Ganges, and he would wait the Brahmanas to take bath. And sometimes while they are taking their bath and chanting Gayatri, he'll go under the water and push their legs so that they fall down in the water. Or sometimes he will wait with the water in his mouth for them to come out, and he will just splash them. And you know, Brahminical culture, mouth is something impure. So they were considering, oh, now I'm again contaminated. Now I have to go again through the whole purificatory process of taking bath and chanting my mantras and this and that. So that was the pastime of the small Nimai. He was known as Nimai because he was born under a Nim tree. And Sita Thakurani, the wife of Advaita Acharya, gave him this name. You'll be known as Nimai, so that the ghosts and the evil spirits will not disturb you. They are always afraid from Nim. When they hear your name Nimai, they will run away from you. So sometimes the small Nimai will go to the young girls who were ready to worship Lord Shiva on the bank of Ganges. And he would go to them and he would tell them, you know, I see you have all these amazing paraphernalia, sweets and garlands and flowers and chandan. You better worship me. If you worship me, I guarantee you get a very good husband. If you don't worship me, then I will curse you. And you will get married for a very old guy. And he will have at least 4 other wives. And the young girls, they were immediately feeling like so scared and they didn't know what to do. And they were worshipping the small Nimai. And he would be very happy. And they will also become very, very happy. So like that, Lord Chaitanya would make all these naughty pastimes. And when people were going to complain to his father Jagannath Mishra or his mother Sachi Devi, they'll be ready to really be on his case and scold him and be angry at him. But then the Nimai will come, and when they see his face, they will be kind of already becoming very, very soft. And they'll ask him, Nimai, people are complaining you're doing all these things on the bank of Ganges. Why are you doing that? And he'll look at his mom and his father and he'll say, I didn't do anything wrong. I was not even today on Ganges yet. I mean, I'm just coming straight from my school. If you don't believe me, just see at my hands. Still, I have ink on them. See my hair. I have dust on my hair. I was not taking bath in Ganges. I was not there. So his parents, they didn't know what to do out of it. In this way, Nimai, he was enjoying his early pastimes. And then he grew up and he became the famous Nimai Pandit, the extremely learned Nimai Pandit, so famous that he started having many, many disciples. Many hundreds of boys were coming to listen from him, grammar, nyaya, logic explanations. And at that time, he was not yet revealing his identity of the Supreme Lord, neither of being great devotee of the Lord. He was just playing the role of learned youth, teenager. And he would teach the other boys, but from time to time, he would show something extraordinary. Like there was a nice devotee, Mukunda, in the area of Navadvip. And he would always running from Nimai Pandit because he told Nimai now he want to argue with me and show me how the path of bhakti is not perfect. Through logic and argument, he wants to prove this. But I don't want that. I don't want to argue with him. So he was always trying to escape Nimai Pandit, who was the great scholar of Navadvip. And one time Nimai caught him and said, why you are trying to run away from me? And he was saying, no, I don't want to argue with you. Just leave me alone. And then Nimai would say, okay, I understand. You don't want to associate with me because I'm not a devotee. Now I understand. But you see, in the future, things will change. You will want to associate with me because I will manifest my real nature. And it happened a little bit later. One time a great scholar was passing all over India and conquering everyone with his amazing knowledge and nyaya, logical abilities. His name was Keshava Bharati. Sorry, Keshava Kashmiri. He came to Navadvip because he knew that Navadvip is a special center of education. And even nowadays, still Navadvip is a place that is known with schools, with learning. So he came to Navadvip and he was ready to have a debate with each and every one, with all the pandits of Navadvip. So they became very worried because they didn't know what to do out of it. And they thought, okay, let's ask Nimai to go and debate with him, because after all, Nimai is still a boy. And if the Pandit really wins over, we can say, well, he's just a small boy. So we will have a second chance for debate. But if the small Nimai manage to win over, oh, this will increase the glory of Navadvip so much. Just see, a small boy from Navadvip is more learned than this great Digvijay Pandit that actually conquered the whole India with his knowledge. And it happened like that. Nimai, he was staying on the bank of Ganges, and this great scholar appeared there and get to know that this is the Nimai, the learned boy. And then Nimai immediately asked him, oh, you're a great personality. You are so learned. Please glorify Mother Ganges. Keshava Kashmiri was such an empowered personality, and he was so much favored by the goddess of learning, Saraswati, that just on a moment, like a lightning, he managed to compose 100 verses in Sanskrit language in glorification of Mother Ganges. And he was just quoting them one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. Everyone was amazed. How is this possible at all? So everyone understood this is not ordinary person. This is a special personality. And then after he was done, very happy and satisfied with his performance, he looked at Nimai, and Nimai said, very good. You are definitely blessed by Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning. But okay, let us discuss a little bit what you just composed. And let's speak about poetry and literary decorations. And Keshava Kashmiri, he said, wait a minute. How are you going to speak about those things? You're just a small boy. You don't know anything about poetry and creating poetry in Sanskrit language. Nimai said, that is true. My area is Nyaya, logic. But although I never learned this, I have heard from learned authorities in the matter. So still I know something. And then Keshav Kashmiri accepted. Okay. Then Smoni Mai said, you know, you quoted all these amazing verses, very, very beautiful. And all of those verses, they have amazing decorations, literary decorations, but they also have some mistakes. So maybe we can discuss some of those verses and see what are the decorations of the verse and the mistakes. Keshu Kashmiri said, what do you mean mistakes? My verses, they don't have any mistakes, any shortcomings. Everything is perfect poetry in Sanskrit. And Nimai said, no, 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 it's not like that. For example, let's take the 55th verse. It goes like that. And he immediately quoted the verse. And Keshav Kashmiri was already like, what? How is this possible? I quoted these verses so fast, and he remembered, and he even knows exactly the verse. So he asked, how is this possible to remember all these verses and to quote one of them? And Nimai said, well, by the mercy of Goddess Saraswati, some people, they can create amazing poetry. And by the mercy of Goddess Saraswati, other people, they are Shrutidar. They can hear something once and can immediately remember. So I have this benediction. And he said, in this verse, you have amazing decorations, and he quoted few of them. But then he said, but you have some mistakes as well. Would you like yourself to point to the mistakes? Keshava Kashmiri, he said, there are no any mistakes. I don't see any mistake in this verse. And Lord Chaitanya, Nimai, he said, no, actually there are, I can show you a few. And then he immediately quoted 5 of the mistakes in this verse. And Keshava Kashmiri was amazed. And Lord Chaitanya then said, actually, there are unlimited mistakes in this verse, but we don't want to go so much in detail. What would you like to say something about that? Keshav Kashmir, he didn't have anything to say. He was completely struck with wonder. How is this possible? What is happening here? I never had such an opponent in my life. And then when Lord Chaitanya, when the small Nimai, he saw the situation of Keshav Kashmir, he said, okay, please go home and take rest. And tomorrow we can meet again and we can discuss more. So Keshav Kashmiri, he went immediately home and he didn't know what to think about it, what to do out of this. He prayed to Goddess Saraswati, and at night Goddess Saraswati appeared and said, well, you are asking me why you were defeated from this small boy. But you don't understand something very, very important. In front of my master, I cannot show my powers. In front of my master, I'm servant. This boy is my master. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when Keshav Kashmiri heard that, he was like completely amazed. So next morning, he woke up and he immediately went and prostrated himself in front of Nimai and surrendered. And Nimai gave him his special mercy. She actually manifested in front of him that he is the Supreme Lord, but told him, don't tell anyone. Uh, don't share this knowledge with anyone. Little later, I will manifest my nature of the Supreme Lord. And like that, Keshava Kashmiri, he became a great Vaishnava and he was touring all over India and spreading actually the glory of Vaishnavism. So this is one of the amazing pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. Then little later, when the time came, Lord Chaitanya manifested his nature of devotee of Krishna. And he started gathering with some of his closest associates and making kirtan throughout the night. That was happening in a special place which is called Shiva Sangam. This is the residing place of Shivas Thakur. He is one of the closest associates of Lord Chaitanya, namely Narada Muni, who is coming to take part in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And his story is very interesting. One time he went to an astrologer, and the astrologer told him that very, very soon he'll have to die. And he told him exactly the day. So he was so worried and afraid. And he went back home and he was thinking what to do. So he decided, when the day comes, I won't come out of my home. I'll just stay there and I won't go out. And hopefully I won't die. So the day came and he closed everything, all the doors, all the windows, and he was just staying inside and he didn't want to do anything so that there is no any risk of damage. But then at some point, suddenly he felt that he is getting suffocated. He cannot breathe. And he thought, okay, let me just go outside and take a little bit fresh air. So he opened the door of his balcony and suddenly he fell down through the balcony. But while he was going down, someone caught him and put him very gently on the ground. And he came to his senses and he was thinking, wow, maybe I'm dead now. But no, actually, I'm not dead. I'm alive. So what happened? I have now a second chance. A second chance was given to me. Okay, now that I have a second chance, what shall I do? Well, let me do something important. Let me read some Shastra. And he went home, he went inside, and he got the first book that he found, and that was I believe, Brihat Naradiya Purana. And he opened the book, and there was a verse inside. And the verse was going like that. Harer Nama, Harer Nama, Harer Nama Eva Kevalam, Kalauna Stievana, Stievana, Stieva, Gatir, Anyatha. And he understood. That's it. This is the goal of life. This is what I have to do. And since that day, he started kirtans every day in his home. A little bit later, Lord Chaitanya, he came to these kirtans. And they had amazing kirtans throughout the night. They were beginning the kirtan in the evening, and they would go throughout the whole night. And in the morning, they would see that, okay, it's already, the sun is about to rise, so we have to go and perform our morning Brahminical duties. And all the devotees, they were dispersing in different directions, performing whatever they had to do throughout the day, and just waiting for the moment for the evening to come again so that they can become completely immersed in these ecstatic kirtans of Lord Chaitanya. And there are many, many stories about these amazing kirtans and how devotees wanted to hear, devotees wanted to see them, other people also. But that was a pastime for a special chosen ones. It was not for anyone and everyone. It is said that Lord Chaitanya performed this pastime of evening kirtans for 1 year, and after that, he brought the Sankirtan movement out on the street. During this 1 year, there were so many pastimes. Like one time, after a long kirtan, devotees, they were tired, and Lord Chaitanya said, "What would you like to eat?" And they said, "Oh, we would like to eat mangoes." But now is not the mango season. Lord Chaitanya said, "Bring me a mango seed." And someone brought one seed from mango, and Lord Chaitanya went on the courtyard and just put it in the ground. And immediately, out of a sudden, just for like a second, a whole tree appeared from the ground. And not only that, but the whole tree became full with amazing, huge mangoes. And not only that, it is said those mangoes, they were very, very, very special. Why? Because they didn't have a skin and they didn't have a seed. It was just the pure nectar, the pure substance. And Lord Chaitanya started giving mangoes to all the devotees and telling them, eat more, more, more. So devotees, they were eating mango to full satisfaction. Another time, one very austere brahmachari wanted to see the amazing kirtan of Lord Chaitanya. And because he had some connection with Shivas, he was praying for a very, very, very long time. Please allow me only one time. I want to see the amazing dancing of Lord Chaitanya. And Shiva said, no, no, no. Lord Chaitanya told me I shouldn't allow anyone external to be on these kirtans. This brahmachari said, I'm not external person. I'm actually a brahmachari. And whole of my life I was drinking only milk. I'm very pure. I'm qualified. And Shivas, because of his soft nature, he said, okay, one time. And then he allowed him to hide inside the house. And when Lord Chaitanya came and started the kirtan, after a while, he stopped and he said, I don't feel the ecstasy this night. Something is wrong. Shivas, is there someone who is not from my internal associates? Is there someone who is not from our party here? And Shivas, he didn't know what to do, what to say. He said, well, actually, my lord, there is one person, but he is very pure. He's very, very pure. He's a brahmachari, and he was drinking only milk the whole life. And Lord Chaitanya became a little bit angry. He said, where in the Shastra it is said that I can be achieved by drinking milk? Bringing him immediately. Then Shivas brought this brahmachari, and Lord Chaitanya said, this is not the way how I can be achieved. You have to leave now. Go. And this brahmachari, while he was living and he was going, on his way, he was thinking, yes, I could not stay more on the Kirtan of Lord Chaitanya, but still, today my life became successful. Why? First, because my pride was broken. I understood actually I'm not so great person. All my life I was thinking I'm so great because I'm a brahmachari, because I'm drinking only milk, because I'm very austere. And I understood I'm not so great because all my assets are not enough to even allow me to be one day on the Kirtan of Lord Chaitanya. But then he was thinking with a very grateful mood. And still I got a glimpse. I got a glimpse of the beauty of Lord Chaitanya, of his amazing dancing and singing. So now my life is successful. And the moment he got rid of his pride and he had this humble and grateful mood within his heart, Lord Chaitanya, who is the Paramatma in every heart, could see this, could perceive this. And then he said to Shiva, Shivas, bring him in. He's qualified to be here. He's qualified to become one of my associates. So like that, Lord Chaitanya was performing amazing pastimes. One time he decided to show his opulence, to show that he is God, he is the Supreme. And he went and he sat down on the altar of Shivas. And he said, Shivas, call my devotees. You worship me. I am the Supreme Lord. And immediately all the devotees came and they started worshipping the Supreme Lord. And then Lord Chaitanya wanted to prove them that he is the Supreme and that no one is closer to them than him. And then he started calling all the devotees one by one and telling them amazing things about their life, things that nobody knew. No one else knew about their life. And everyone was amazed. He called for Gangadas Pandit and he said, do you remember when one night you were coming back very late with your wife and your daughter? And do you remember these Muslim soldiers, they started following you? And you became so afraid what will happen now. And you reached the river, the water. You wanted to cross the river, but there was no boat. There was no boatman. Do you remember that? And Gangadas said, yes, my lord, I remember very well. Do you remember out of a sudden, a boatman appeared with a boat and took you and brought you to the other shore? Yes, my lord, I remember very well. Well, that boatman was I. I came to save you. And all the devotees, they were like, wow, amazed. He called for Haridas Thakur and said, my dear Haridas, you are so, so, so dear to me. Do you remember that at some point, the Muslim governor, he was very much against you and your preaching? And he became so angry at you that he gave a command that they have to bring you to different marketplaces and beat you there until you die. Do you remember this? Yes, my lord, I do remember. But do you remember that although they were beating you, you were not feeling any pain? They were beating you so strongly, but you are not feeling any pain. Do you remember this? And Haridas Thakur was saying, yes, that was amazing. I was chanting the holy name and they were beating me and I was not feeling any pain. Lord Chaitanya said, you know why? Because I was lying on the top of you. They were beating my back, not yours. And then Lord Chaitanya turned and everyone could see the marks from the beating on the back of Lord Chaitanya. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya was proving to his devotees that he is really close to them and he would never give them up, even in the greatest difficulties, even in the most difficult moments of their life. Then Lord Chaitanya called for Kolavecha Sridhar, the famous devotee, the seller of banana leaves and bananas. His house was very close to our temple in Mayapur, our Jagannath Mandir, Rajpur temple. And even nowadays, devotees, they can go behind in the fields, after walking 10 minutes, they can see there is like a monument that is showing exactly the place where was the house of Kovacha Sridhar. He was such a pure devotee that he would chant the holy name the whole night. The whole night he would chant the holy name, completely dedicated to Lord Chaitanya. And he would cry from ecstasy. He would cry again and again and again. However, his neighbors, because they knew that he's very, very poor, whatever small money he would make from his business, selling bananas and banana bowls and plates, 50% immediately he will use for worship of Mother Ganga. So he had hardly money to survive. And when he was crying throughout the night, neighbors, they were thinking, oh, he's so poor, he doesn't have any money to eat. So he's starving so much throughout the night, he's crying from starvation. This is what they were thinking. So Lord Chaitanya called for Discourse Sridhar, and he had amazing exchange. And he said, my dear Sridhar, you're so dear to me. I'm getting so much pleasure when I was coming every day to your place and getting bargaining with you and getting your bananas and your banana plates always at the end for free. This was giving me so much pleasure in my heart. Ask a blessing from me. Whatever you want, I will do. Ask a blessing. Kovecha Sridhar said, I don't want anything from you, my dear Lord. Okay, if you want to give me something, the only thing I want is, please continue coming every day to me and do the same thing. Come and bark with me, and at the end, always get whatever I have for free. This will really make my life happy. So that was the amazing exchange of Lord Chaitanya with his devotees. And also later, Lord Chaitanya, when he took sannyas and when he started traveling and preaching, we see mainly he was engaged in Harinam Sankirtan, he and his devotees. That was his main thing. So his main preaching for the masses was Harinam Sankirtan and Prasadam. But Lord Chaitanya, he entered into serious philosophical debates only with great philosophical personalities like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya or Prakashananda Saraswati. When Lord Chaitanya took sannyas and went to Jagannath Puri, one of the first personalities who saw him there was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Why? Because already just by entering in the temple of Lord Jagannath and seeing the beautiful form of Lord Jagannath, Lord Chaitanya immediately fell down unconscious on the ground and exhibited amazing ecstatic symptoms. So the security of the temple called immediately for Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was like the head priest of King Prataparudra, the king of Orissa. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was very learned personality. And just by examining the symptoms of Lord Chaitanya, he could understand, wow, this is not a pretender. He is not trying to show off. This person is real. And he asked the guards to bring the body of Lord Chaitanya to his home. I have heard that there are tunnels which are going all the way from the temple of Lord Jagannath to different places in Jagannath Puri. So through these underground tunnels, the pandas, they could very easily go under the ground to do their service and go back home. I've never seen them, but this is what we have heard from authorities. So they brought the body of Lord Chaitanya to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And later, when the devotees Nityananda Prabhu and the other devotees, they came and started making kirtan, Lord Chaitanya came back to consciousness. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he said to Lord Chaitanya, it's amazing. You are so attractive. You are so beautiful and you are so young. Uh, this is amazing that you took sannyas in this early age. But you know what? It will be very, very difficult to keep your sannyas because you are so young and you don't have enough knowledge. And because of your amazing beauty. So if you like, I can give you knowledge. I can give you the knowledge of Vedanta. And when you have this weapon, this Shastra of Vedanta, then you can keep your sannyas very easily. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he started explaining the whole knowledge, the whole idea behind Vedic knowledge, that actually we are all God. And because now we are in ignorance, we don't know that. But the moment we get real knowledge, we will understand that we are God. And he was explaining all this bogus Mayavadi philosophy. And Lord Chaitanya, just out of respect, he would listen, listen, listen. But he won't say anything and he won't ask any questions for 7 days. Then after 7 days, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya said, you're listening, but you're not saying anything. You're not asking any questions. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then Lord Chaitanya spoke and he said, I very well understand the meaning of the Vedanta Sutras, but I cannot understand your foggy explanations. Your explanations, they are like clouds that are covering the light of Vedanta Sutra. So when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya heard this, he was astonished. What is that? And then he asked Lord Chaitanya, okay, if you know better than me, you explain the meaning of the Vedanta Sutras. And then Lord Chaitanya started in an amazing, perfect way, in a extremely logical way to explain the whole Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva philosophy, the whole Vaishnava philosophy. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, already by hearing these explanations, he could understand how it is possible a normal human being to give such an explanation on the Vedanta Sutra. And then gradually he would understand this is extraordinary personality. And then he asked Lord Chaitanya to explain the Atmarama Shloka. And Lord Chaitanya said, first you explain what you know about this shloka. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya gave, if I believe, I don't remember, 9 or 18 different explanations from different angles on the same verse, same shloka. Atmaramaschamu yon nirgranta pyurukrame kurvantya haitukim bhaktim itabhuta gunohari. When Lord Chaitanya heard these explanations, after that he explained the verse in 64 different ways, different from the ways that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya gave as an explanation. And that was superhuman. So when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya heard this explanation, he was sure, this is Narayan. No one can understand so deeply and explain so deeply Shastra than Narayan. So he understood this. And then, of course, there are so many pastimes between Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Lord Chaitanya. He would invite Lord Chaitanya so many times for lunch, and Lord Chaitanya revealed a special form in front of him, and proving that he is God, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, he came and he wanted to change Shastra, he wanted to change a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a famous verse which is saying, Tatenu kampam shushamik-shamana bunjana evatma kritam vipakam Hrid Vagvapurbir Vidada Namaste Jiveta Yomukti Pade Sadaya Bak. This verse is explained that one should humbly accept the reactions from his previous activities, and although suffering to some extent in this material world, within his heart, with his words, with his mind and body, he should continue serving the Supreme Lord. If one is able to do that, tolerate the sufferings in his life and continue serving the Lord, going back in the spiritual world is his rightful claim. He has the right to go back. lawful right. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was not at all happy with the usage of the word uh, muktipade. He said, this is not right because people will immediately understand and explain this word in an impersonal way, that it means they achieve impersonal liberation. The word should be bhakti. So I'm going to change this verse from now on. Lord Chaitanya said, no, 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 wait a minute, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. No need to change Shastra. Shastra is already fixed. Don't do anything. Yes, you are right. Some people, they may misunderstand this word in this way. But actually, ultimately, mukti means personal liberation. Because Shastra is explaining that there are 5 kinds of mukti, and only one of them is impersonal, Sayuja Mukti. But all other are personal liberations, achieving Vaikuntha, having a relationship with the Lord, having wealth as the wealth of the Lord, form as the form of the Lord, and so on and so on. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was satisfied and happy. And in the same way with Prakashananda Saraswati, a little bit later in Benares, Prakashananda Saraswati criticized Lord Chaitanya. Oh, why this sannyasi, he is going all day and just chanting the names of Krishna on the street. If he is a real sannyasi, he has to study Vedanta. He has to cultivate knowledge. What is this sentimental singing the whole day on the streets of Varanasi? And when the devotees heard this, they were not happy. They were not happy to hear this criticism. So they asked Lord Chaitanya to do something about it. And then, okay, a little later, Lord Chaitanya went on one of the meetings of this Prakashananda Saraswati, very famous sannyasi. He was so powerful that he had 60,000 sannyasi disciples. Not 60,000 disciples, 60,000 sannyas disciples. So he was so powerful with his knowledge, he made 60,000 people to completely give up material idea for sense gratification and start looking for salvation, for mukti. Very powerful personality. And still, only when Lord Chaitanya appeared them with his presence, with his beauty and effulgence, and with his humility, everyone was so much attracted from him. He went and he sat down on the place where people were leaving their shoes. So by acting in such a humble way, they were immediately so attracted. So they came and they took him and they gave him a proper asana to sit down, and they started discussing Vedanta. And very, very easy, with his amazing knowledge, Lord Chaitanya convinced them that the real goal of Vedic knowledge is not liberation. The real goal is Krishna Prema, love of God. And the best way to get this in this age is chanting the names of Krishna. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. Krishna hoite haya sarva jagata nishtar. The best way in Kali Yuga to get liberation is to chant Kali Kale Nama Rupe, to get in contact with the incarnation for this age, which is Krishna in the form of his holy name. So like that, he convinced them. And at the end, everyone had amazing kirtan. All of them, they were making kirtan, chanting and dancing like crazy. All these very austere sannyasis, very dry, very serious. All of them, they were completely immersed in the ecstasy of chanting the holy names of Krishna. So like that, this is the nectar of the pastimes of Krishna. And this is what Lord Chaitanya came to give us. He came to give us the sweetness of the chanting of the holy names of Krishna, and the greatest gift that we can get through this chanting, namely the highest forms of love of God, spontaneous love of God, raga. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, dear devotees. Now I'll give back again the word to our host. Hare Krishna.